Good evening, everybody. It is the July 19th, 2018 Planning Commission. Welcome. My name is Travis Nam, the chair of the Planning Commission. Over to my left, we have Scott Woodbury, Sue Wilson, and then we also have Phil Markham, and then to my right, we have Lisa Milkevich and Ned Hacker. From staff tonight, we have Jim McNulty and Zach Smallwood, and then Susan Nixon is here, and then someone from our legal office, I assume Bryant Farnsworth, will be here in just a few moments. We have a little bit of housekeeping to go over first. If you have cell phones, please silence your cell phone. If you need to take calls, we ask that you take your calls out in the hallway there. If you are here to speak to an issue tonight, when it comes time to open that up for public comment, we'll invite you up. We just ask that you come up, state your name and address in the record, and we'll ask that you limit your comment to 3 minutes. If you're speaking for a group of residents, we'll let you go for 5 minutes. Our agenda is kind of a mixed bag this evening, so let's go ahead and just get started with it. So item number 1 on our agenda is approval of the minutes from the June 21st and the July 5th, 2018 minutes or meetings. Has everybody had an opportunity to review those?
Yes.
Okay, other than the minor text changes that were mentioned, are there any additional changes? No? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make motion to accept the meeting minutes as they're written and we amended for June 21st and July 5th meetings of the Transportation Commission.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Hacker. Do I have a second? Yeah, second by Ms. Milkevich. All in
You got to push the button.
that little button right there.
There we go.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item number 2, is there anybody have conflict of interest with any of the items on the agenda this evening?
No.
No. Nope.
No. Okay. Item number 3 is approval of the findings of fact from the June 21st and the July 5th, 2018 meetings, and those include Stillwater Apartments seeking a conditional use permit for a monument sign at the property address 5560 South Vine Street. Bathamus Accessory Dwelling Unit is conditional use at the property address 1175 East 6600 South. Car Price Auto Sales seeking a conditional use for vehicle sales at the property address 4670 South Cherry Street. Equator Auto Sales seeking a conditional use for vehicle sales at the property address 4534 South Commerce Drive. And Secure Auto Group seeking a conditional use permit for vehicle sales at the property address 4339 South State Street. Has everybody had an opportunity to review those 5?
Yes.
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 Any changes, modifications?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the findings of fact as read into the record tonight by you.
I have a motion by Mr. Markham. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Woodbury. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Item number 4 on the formal agenda this evening is Master Scraper. Is the applicant here this evening? Master Scraper is seeking a conditional use permit for a wood scraping business at the property address 4195 South 500 West, unit number 2. Mr. Smallwood.
Great. Thanks, guys. So yeah, this is Master Scraper. They are a wood scraping business that scrapes wood for wood flooring. They are going to be located in what's known as the Garco industrial area. You can't see it real well on here, but I did mark it. It's number 2. It's lit up in yellow right there, just right off of 5th West. It's all in the MG zoning. So it is allowed conditionally. Here are the floor plans and 2 photos of the area. As you can see, in our main thing that we require is going to be restriping of the parking stalls. It doesn't look like they are there at the moment. So that second picture below just shows there's not anything there. So we recommend approval with the following conditions. Any questions for staff?
Any questions for Mr. Smallwood? No? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
If we could have the applicant come up, and we'll just have you state your name and address for the record. Good evening.
My name is Kelsey Radden, and the address is 4195 South, 500 West, number 2.
Perfect. Have you had an opportunity to review the 6 conditions?
Yes.
And you'll be able to comply with those 6 conditions?
Yes.
Do you have anything that you'd like to add? No? Are there any questions for the applicant?
We in our discussions in pre-meeting, we noted that there's some mention of a dust collector. Do you know if the plan is to add a dust collector at this time in the building?
No.
Okay. And then I'm just curious, I think it's been about a year since you folks came to us originally in that.
Yeah.
Is business increasing? Is it, is it just a better opportunity, a better location?
Yeah, there's another one just a few buildings over.
Oh, okay.
Same
So
area,
maybe I'm
so
thinking of
it's
a
doing-
separate wood scraping business.
Yeah, there's a few of them in that area that all do it for a bigger
Okay.
business.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So is wood scraping planing?
Not
Planing,
necessarily-
flooring?
They're just adding like detail to the wood.
Okay, so it's new wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Have a seat. This is a public hearing, so we will open this up for public comment. If anyone would like to speak to this issue, we just ask that you come up and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, we will close the public comment period, bring it back here for conversation and or a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit to allow wood scraping business on the property located 4195 South, 500 West, Unit Number 2, subject to conditions 1 through 6.
I have a motion by Mr. Woodbury to approve a conditional use permit to allow wood scraping business on the property addressed 4195 South, 500 West, Unit Number 2, subject to conditions 1 through 6.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to second that motion.
Second by Ms. Milkevich. Call for a vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion carries. Good luck with your business. All right, item number 5 this evening is the Costello Estates seeking a final subdivision review for the property addressed 1222 West Bullion Street, which is approximately 5705 South Walden Glen Street. Excuse me. Is the applicant here this evening? Welcome. Mr. McNulty.
Thank you, Commissioner Ney. So this is the property. We have it outlined as we discussed previously. In our pre-meeting, the preliminary plat review was approved by the Planning Commission on June 7th. Prior to that, a rezoning of property occurred. This area was previously in agriculture or A1 zoning. It's currently in R110 zoning as the overhead map depicts. And you can see the main access to the property is from Bullion Street or Walden Glen Drive. This is a copy of the final plat. Just so you can see it, it's been prepared. It's got the appropriate signature blocks. Our engineering staff and others are in the process of reviewing that. I want to go to the next sheet so we can drill down a little bit. So here you get a good idea for the lots and the cul-de-sac and the layout. So we've got a total of 15 lots here. On the property. The zoning being R110 requires a minimum lot size of 10,000 square feet. These lots will vary in size from just over 10,000 square feet to just over 15,000 square feet. Hickman Cove and Costello Court will be put in and built to a public standard and dedicated to the city. Once that's done and they meet our requirements, we will provide, pothole, fixing potholes, slurry seals, snow removal, all of those kind of things that our residents enjoy for a public street system. Getting into a little more detail here, there's 2 things I'd like to bring up. The first one is the cul-de-sac issue off of Costello Court. I don't know that this drawing shows it completely accurate, but this is something that the applicant and his engineer are working on with our city engineer, Trey Stokes. But the intent here is the cul-de-sac from lot 112. Are you guys still on? One just went off or it zapped. Okay. So the cul-de-sac from lot 112 around the radius till it gets to lot 113 frontage, that will be sidewalk only. There won't be park strip there by that open space, and that's because it just doesn't make sense to have park strip there if there's no lots adjacent to that parcel A. And that's what we discussed previously during the preliminary plat review. And then the other thing is the setback line from the top of the Jordan River bank. The applicant will be working with our city engineer as well as county flood control to make sure that that is appropriately identified and they meet any requirements that are necessary or needed. And I know they've been working on that because Trey spoke to us recently as a staff about some of those issues. The other issue we want to address is fencing, because this came up during the preliminary plat review on June 7th. We wanted to indicate that we have found a solution to the fencing question. So as you can see with the overhead, we have 2 fencing types. Fencing type wood is a solid vinyl or masonry beginning at the front or corner side lot line of 101 and continuing along the rear property lines. Then once we get to the front area of lot 112, where it's adjacent to the Jordan River and the parcel A open space, it will be a different type of fence. It will be a 3-rail fence with a vinyl coated chain link like you see in the drawing here, which the city recently did for the canal project that we did by Fontainebleau, working its way down. It's been well received by the property owners and the public. It's really nice looking fence, and I think it will be a real enhancement for the property owners in that area.
Mr. McNulty, that's
Yes.
that's a 4-foot fence, correct?
I think so.
I think
think it
it's
is.
I think it's 4.5 or 5 foot, something in that.
But it's
something in
not. It's
that
not a
range.
6-foot fence. But that
I don't think
that-
it's a 6-foot
Yeah.
fence. I would say 5, yeah, somewhere in that range. That's a good question. Just a view looking east towards the mountains, so you can see, very nice property, very nice views there oriented towards the east. And as a result, planning staff is recommending that the planning commission consider recommending approval to the mayor for this final subdivision plat. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Any questions for staff? I have one, just brief one. So for the parcel A, can we talk a little bit about, so landscaping will just remain natural landscaping?
That's my understanding.
And then with the ground disturbance, are they excluded from working in that area? I mean, is there anything to prevent them from digging that area up in the course of installation, or to restore it back to the landscape that we see today?
I think they would have to work with county flood control if it did something in that area, and I think the idea is just to keep it natural, as natural open space, and we have the fencing and with the trail on the other side. So I think it's just going to remain natural type open space.
Is there anything to preclude them from putting concrete washouts or anything like that in that area during construction?
That's a good question. That's something we could ask the applicant if we're okay to address that in the conditions of approval based on things that have happened in the past. I would think common sense would come into play there and they not do that, but you never know with you never know what someone may or may not do.
Okay.
Yep.
Any additional questions? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if we could have the applicant come up. Welcome back. Name and address for the record, please.
Yeah. Blaine Goff. I live at 12809 South Bolter Street in Draper.
Perfect. Mr. Goff, you had the opportunity to review all 8 conditions?
I have.
And you're able to comply with those 8 conditions?
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything that you would like to add?
Well, just maybe respond to a couple of your comments.
Okay.
So, our SWPP plan that we'll be submitting very shortly to Trey actually shows a berm along there, and we rather than a silt fence. So we have full intentions of protecting that area. It's benefits us. It benefits we get this thing developed. Now we want to sell it. That's an enhancement to leave it very natural. We have no intentions of disturbing any more than, we're going to, building the road, we're going to disturb 3 or 4 or 5 feet back there. That'll actually have a 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 slope for about 3 feet. But no, your comment of concrete, those days are long gone.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the SWPP plan, that's a pretty good find. So no, you'll see washout pans on sites.
Okay. Perfect.
Any other questions?
I was just curious what I have neighbors that want to buy there, so they just asked me, find out what the houses cost. And I said, well, I'm not buying there. My wife. So they were just curious. They can look on your website though. So.
Okay. Yep. We're still a ways from pricing.
Good.
So
All my neighbors say, go ask what, and I said, you guys can do that on your own. So anyway, we're excited. I actually live in the
Last
neighborhood.
time I left here, there was about 5 following
Yeah.
me out. So
Well, as a resident, I'm actually excited to have him. I live just north of this development. I think it's a great addition to the neighborhood. I mean, it'll be really nice just to have those houses there. I think it'll really help. So
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
we're very proud of all the Murray Bluff stuff that we've done along the river. So this is nothing new to us.
No, they're great. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
And I do compliment you on the fence choice in that area as well. That's good. All right, this is a public hearing, so we will open this up. If anyone from the public would like to speak to this issue, come on up, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, I will close the public comment and bring it back up here for discussion and or a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we forward a recommendation of approval for the final subdivision, the proposed Costello Estate subdivision on the property address 5705 South Walden Glen Drive, subject to conditions 1 through 8.
All right, I have a motion to forward a recommendation of approval to the mayor to grant final subdivision approval for the proposed Costello Estate subdivision on the property address 5705 South Walden Glen Drive, subject to conditions 1 through 8.
I'll second.
And I have a second by Mrs. Wilson. Call for a vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion carries. Good luck moving forward. Thank you. All right. Item number 6 this evening is Erickson Place and Creek Park subdivision amendment, also lot line adjustments for the properties addressed 5837 and 5847 South Majestic Pines Drive and 5824 South Royalton Drive. Applicants here? Perfect. We'll have you up in just a moment.
Thank you, Chair Ney.
McNulty.
So we've got an aerial here, an overhead of the area in question. So we have 2 different subdivisions. It's basically the same neighborhood, but we have 2 different subdivision plats here. We have to have a public meeting as per state code 109A608, because we do have lots in a platted subdivision that has been recorded. It's not just meets and bounds property of unrecorded properties. So we do have to have a public meeting to consider this, and the Planning Commission has to grant an approval or denial. So you can see basically with the overhead here, off of Majestic, the existing home and roof line there is identified as lot 15 within that subdivision, and the vacant property, which now has a home on it, is known as lot 14 of the Erickson Place subdivision. And then the Creek Park subdivision, the other home, that's identified as lot 1 in the Creek Park subdivision. So we have 2 different subdivision plats here. So this is the zoning map. We talked about that. The areas in yellow are R18, and then the area in the beige or the light brown is RM10. Now both zones require a minimum lot size of 8,000 square feet. But we're in an area where the lots are quite large. In fact, these lots range from 19,000 to 21,000 square feet, or roughly in that half-acre range. So we have lots that are basically twice the size of a standard R18 lot that we're dealing with here. So this is a portion of the survey which was done on the property. And if you look closely on your monitor on the overhead, you'll see lot 14, and so that is the home. That was there previously. That was built a number of years ago. Lot 15 is the new home that the Mitchells have built, and they started that last fall. And then Lot 1 is the home that is existing, the Maxfield home. And so you can see where you see the cross-hatching between lots 14 and 15, and then you see some cross-hatching between lots 15 and 1 in the other subdivision. Can everybody see that on your overhead? Those are the properties that are being deeded from the Mitchells to the adjacent property owners to kind of clean things up out there. Like we talked about, the Hanson home was originally built about 5 foot from that property line by the original builder of the home, and the Hansons later bought it. And then the Maxfields have a pool and deck area that slightly encroaches as well into the rear lot line there on the property as well to the north. So these 3 property owners have been working together, and in a spirit of community, neighborhood, they're working to get this cleaned up for all 3 of them so they can meet the zoning requirements and not have encroachment on people's properties. And so we realize we have some of this in the city, and we want to commend the residents for coming forward and cleaning this up rather than just dealing with this as a civil issue, because a lot of times property line disputes are civil matters and attorneys get involved and everything else. So I'm glad that they're moving forward and want to clean this up as a neighborhood for the benefit of everyone. So we're recommending approval. We would like the Planning Commission to grant approval for this lot line adjustment or plat amendment so we can move it forward, and the 3 parties can work with Susan Nixon, who's here tonight, to record the appropriate documents, and everybody can move forward on this. Thank you.
Perfect. Any questions for staff? All right, thank you. If we could have the applicant come up and, again, just state your name and address for the record.
Hi, Matt Mitchell, 5847 Majestic.
Perfect. Have you had an opportunity to review everything here, and you're okay with what's being proposed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have anything that you would like to add to the
sir.
presentation? All right. Any questions for the applicant? No? That's easy. Oh,
I don't really have a question for you, but I would, being a developer in the Valley, I would recommend, and it's stated in condition number 6, that you'll record separate deeds after when this receives approval. And I would recommend to you that you each make sure that your deeds are properly recorded at the county, because it wouldn't be the first time that a lot line has been adjusted and the county didn't record the deed properly. So for your own best interest, I would suggest that each of the 3 property owners make sure that the Sidwells are correct and that the deeds are recorded correctly at the county, because we know Murray's going to do their part, but the county doesn't always get the Sidwells just right. So that would be my recommendation
No, I
to you.
appreciate that, and that's the plan after going through the deed process to record at the county. And that's why we've got it with the plat drawn up within a 3-month time frame to enable us to do that.
Yeah, and then just have your title company, or unless you're familiar with deeds yourself, just verify it and make sure that you've got what you think you're getting.
Absolutely.
That'd be my recommendation.
Thank you.
all right. Thank you. This is a public hearing, so we will open this up for public comment. Anyone like to speak to this issue? Seeing heads shaking no, I'm going to close the public comment period and bring it back up here for a motion and or discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd first like to commend all of the property owners for resolving this matter and make a motion for approval of the requested lot line adjustment.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Hecker to approve the
second.
requested lot line adjustment, and a
Subject
second
to
by
conditions 6.
subject conditions 1 through 6, and then I have a second by Mr. Markham. Call for a vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion carries. Good luck. Thanks for going through it and civilly dealing with the issue. It makes a big difference.
Hey, at least it's not a toxic waste issue.
All right, item number 7 this evening is a zoning map amendment. It's brought to us by Shared Pharmacy seeking a zoning map amendment from mixed use to commercial neighborhood. The property is addressed 4843 South Murray Boulevard and 495 and 497 West 4800 South. Mr. Smallwood.
Yep. So as you can see on the map here, it's these 3 properties located just next to 4800 South and Murray Boulevard. The applicant is Shared Pharmacy. They occupy that south property right there. They're looking to possibly expand, and to do so, they need to change the zoning in the area from mixed use to neighborhood commercial. Currently, it's mixed use. Our future land use map does recommend that, or suggest that it move over to neighborhood commercial for that little node right there. As you can see, here's Shared Pharmacy, fairly nice building, and then over here we have what used to be Moe's Cafe. Needs a little help.
Needs a little yard work.
Yeah. So staff recommends that that you guys forward a positive recommendation over. This does. I apologize to City Council. Sorry, I didn't remember if this went to them or not. So yeah. Any questions for me?
Questions for Mr. Smallwood?
To say, I think they have been so efficient in their proposals. I mean, this is awesome. Zach and Jim, it's been awesome. Good job on all your proposals. So
Great.
not really a question, just commend them for being
Not
super
a lot of
efficient.
questions to ask based on
Yeah.
the materials.
Yeah,
we've
it's
received.
been awesome. You guys have done a great job.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. If we could have the applicant come up and
Ray
state your
Black.
name and address.
Presentations.
Hi.
I'm Jessie Merchant. I live at 2 Quietwood in Sandy, but we've been in Murray for about 10 years and we love it here. It's perfect for our business and we've just outgrown our space right now. So it's really important to us to be able to, buy, well, we bought Moe's already, but to be able to expand, our building and, make it so we can stay in Murray.
Perfect. Have you, actually, there are no conditions for you to, you're good with this proposal as written, I assume.
Yep.
Okay. Are you a compounding pharmacy or what do you do?
We do long-term care. So basically like nursing homes, assisted livings.
So packaging, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Everything
pill
is in unit
packaging and
dose.
so forth. Okay, that was my question. Just what was the business model and that?
Yeah, it's kind of
the
a
name
mix.
is kind of generic.
It's
so.
a terrible name.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my dad.
That's okay. Hey,
And he's not here to defend himself.
No, he's not.
that's okay. All right, very good.
Perfect. Any additional questions for the applicant? No. Take a seat. To be formal, I will open this up for public comment, but since you are the last of the public here to comment, I assume you've said what you need to say. Okay, I'll close the public comment, bring it back up to here, and discussion or motion.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council for the requested zone map amendment for the properties located at 495 West, 4800 South, 497 West, 4800 South, and 4843 South Murray Boulevard from MU to NC, subject to 0 conditions. Perfect.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Woodbury and a second by Mrs. Milkevich to forward a recommendation of approval to City Council for the requested zone map amendment for the properties located at 495 West, 4800 South, 497 West, 4800 South, and 4843 South Murray Boulevard from mixed use to neighborhood commercial. Call for a vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion carries. Good luck on expanding your business. Thanks for being in Murray, and thanks for taking over Moe's and maybe cleaning it up just a little bit.
Good luck on changing the name, too.
Yeah.
About
maybe maybe Moe's Pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
That's horrible.
Or Larry and Curly.
Thank you. Mr. McNulty, you want to wrap this up for us?
I do, and maybe in record time for me. Hey, just 3 quick items. Zach is handing out some information for registration for the APA conference coming up October 4th and 5th. Commissioner Ney, I think you've told Susan that you would be interested in attending. If any of the rest of you would like to attend, please let Susan know in the next couple of days. She's happy to sign you up if you have time. There's also 1-day registration. I wish they would cut it in half, but they don't quite do that. If you can only make it for a day out of the 2, let us know. But if you can make it, any of you can make it, let us know, and we're happy to pay for the registration to get you there for a little bit of training for a couple of days. Not too far away. It's just at Jordan Commons in Sandy. So Sandy.
Great way to spend a couple days.
Yeah.
It's a great way.
You get
Sorry.
to hang out. Zach and Susan will be going, so you get to hang out with them. The other thing is boards and commissions dinner. I think you've probably each received that. The RSVP date is next Monday, July 21st, giving the mayor's office a call. The name on there and RSVP.
No, let's see. The 21st
Is tomorrow.
is the 20th is tomorrow. That would be the RSVP.
Okay,
deadline.
I was thinking it was Monday the 23rd, so I apologize.
Oh, maybe it is the 23rd.
Yeah.
Then. You said the 21st.
Oh,
the first
I missed
time.
it.
That's what
Saturday.
screwed me up.
Okay. I was probably getting it mixed up with August 1st, the date.
There
The
you
date
go.
of the dinner is
There you
August
go.
1st. The RSVP date is July 23rd. So that's Monday. And then we're going to have our PC training and dinner on August 22nd, that Wednesday. I know we sent a block out from 6 to 8, but it's our intent to be done at 7:30 like we were last year. 90 minutes is plenty. And I think we will try
We'll
to
have time for
find-
cocktails.
Yes. and
Perfect.
I will work on the food. I'd like something a little better this time. So
Oh, well, I'll take you up on that.
right.
Are we actually going to get to hear actual words come from Bryant, or
I
no?
think
He
we
just
are.
shakes his head.
I think we are, because we heard words from GL last time for a good 15 or 20 minutes. So Bryant
I'm beginning
and I,
to wonder if you actually talk.
Thank you, Commissioner Ney, because Bryant and I are meeting on sign code stuff tomorrow. I'll remind him.
Okay.
No,
that we
take
need
that
him
as
to
a
speak.
compliment that he has
I know
not
that he doesn't
addressed
have to
us.
talk, I
he
agree.
has not dressed us down because
Yeah.
GL could do that very easily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Walk up and tell you you're
Yeah.
walking into territory you do not want to venture into. You know?
Ryan, do you own a sweater vest?
To compete with GL, it's one of the requirements.
You know what? By October, we need to get him in one. By mid-October to Halloween.
We'll present it to him as a gift. Okay.
I think they're ready for a gavel. Have you said everything you
Done.
need to say?
We're
Thank you.
we're gonna get in trouble
Yeah.
if we don't. Motion to adjourn.
Motion granted.
Hey, great job,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.